Happy Wednesday, everyone. I'm always thrilled and excited, but today, very, very special reason to be excited. We have just really a next chapter of kindness worldwide. Most of you guys have heard us talk about this and really see this movement grow from a nice idea, a real good sentiment, something that has changed a couple lives, into something that has absolutely exploded beyond belief. Not just on the humanitarian efforts, folks, but in actual impact, right? Economy, economic improvement, crime rates going down, unification, all under the kindness of banner. So tonight is not just about sentiment, it's about structure, y'all. So kindness as infrastructure, not just emotional and do good, but as ecosystem. We're going to dive a little deeper into what I'm calling chapter 2. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Mike Ashford-Branner, professionally known as the Redneck Connector, proud and humble leader of the Hounds of Business community. And trust first, trust always here. So, folks, welcome to the show. Hey, right room. That's what it's all about, right? Getting in the right room with the right people, heart-centered, high-level professionals. That's how business gets done, especially in competitive market. So I encourage everyone. Chat. This is your show. You probably have kids and cooking and all kind of stuff going on. So we appreciate you being here. Make the most out of it. If you want to share your thoughts, share your thoughts. Ask questions. We'll do the best to answer those questions. The amazing April Wyatt is backstage doing all the hard work and doing her best. So don't get upset if we can't get to them. And hopefully the comments pop up. We've had some glitches and issues, but thank you all for coming. All right. So if we don't get to you, it's probably a glitch. But hey, share, mingle, no pitch slapping with a P. But have a great time. This is going to be one for the records, folks. And we got some very amazing special guests coming. So I tell you what, how about we just go ahead and bring them on up? April, open that gate, my friend. So first of all, it's the one and only Kevin Smith, Peter Samuelson, and Angelique. Help me out. I just practiced it and I already failed.
Letizia.
Letizia, thank you. You ever bet on that horse and he comes out the gate and falls out? Yeah, here we go. We're good to go. So I'll tell you what, if folks have not been familiar with you, that's crazy, but Kevin, why don't you kick us off? Tell folks who you are and just the real mini version of what happened to start this whole massive movement that is absolutely making big headways in people's lives and beyond.
Well, I'll give you the Cliff Notes version. I've said it many times. Truth is, I'm just an ordinary guy who was touched by the actions of an ordinary woman who did an extraordinary thing. She was kind. And a simple act of kindness spawned what I could only describe as an indescribable adventure of a lifetime that ultimately led me to launch the global nonprofit Kindness Worldwide, which has a vision to create a culture of kindness in communities throughout the world. So that's the Cliff Notes version. I'll keep it short and sweet. So I'm all kindness all the time these days.
Hey, that's okay, brother, because we're going to show some clips throughout this. So each kind of topic that we're discussing, we're going to show you all a clip. I don't want to spoil it, but your documentary film, right, for such a time as this, the Kindness Worldwide film, wow. And that's why we have these two legendary rock stars. Well, one of the major reasons, multiple reasons why these two are here today. But wow. Okay, so let's go to someone who no one has seen on the show yet, Peter Samuelson. Peter, welcome to the show. It is a high honor. Here, folks, can I tell them this? Can I tell them why? This guy, all right, I'm a child of the 80s, all right? One of my favorite movies up there with Rocky is Revenge of the Nerds, y'all. This man produced it. Now, I'm trying real hard to behave still, okay? So take it away, Peter. It's an honor to have you here.
So I used to think I was a film producer who was also a philanthropist, founder of 7 charities. But then I wrote a book, which thank God is doing rather well. So I guess I'm an author, philanthropist, film producer. I'm here because one of my charities called First Star, we house, educate, and encourage teenage foster kids for 4 years, grades 9 through 12, on the campuses of universities. And then we get 90% of them into college. And while they're with us for those 4 years, there's a class that I've taught for a decade, which is called Random Acts of Kindness and Pay It Forward. And we give each of them $200, and they have to propose to whom they're going to give it. To whom or to what. Can go to a charity, can go to an individual. And it's obviously good for the people who get helped, but it's also astonishingly good the teenage foster kids. They're all about 3 inches taller, a week and a half after they have the power, the agency to realize there's someone worse off than them and then go help them. And I've thought about a national or global pay it forward platform for years and years. And then Kevin said to me, well, why don't we just do it? And I said, I can see no good reason not to do it. So we are now doing it. And that's what I got. And I'm honored to be here.
Beautiful. Ain't that something? You know, and by the way, my inner child is still thinking of Revenge of the Nerds, but you are doing so much more than that. And by goodness, this should be a reality show. I don't like TV, but I'd watch that one. So let's dive into that. And then last but certainly not least, the one and only Angelique. I'm getting better at saying it. This lady was on the Kindness Kickoff show in February. She has come last week. You've been here, twice now? Is this the second or third time? I can't. Yeah, something like it.
Yeah.
You have been already such an amazing friend, guide, supportive system. Seriously. I mean, you walk the walk, not just talking it, my friend. So tell the folks who you are, what you're doing.
Oh, God. So Reader's Digest version. Well, who I am is just me, Angelique. And what I've done, I'm writer, director, filmmaker. I'm also a kindness ambassador to Connecticut. I met Kevin 2 years ago. And he started showing up on my comments. And the next thing I know, we became friends. And he asked me if I would be interested in joining the movement. And I am so happy to be here. It's very much in alignment with all of the work that I do. I used to have a podcast on the Call Cut Method. I have a book actually coming out for pre-sale on Saturday. And all of it is in alignment with getting your best self and your highest self and realigning to the person that you were supposed to be and not the story that you were told. So, yeah.
I hope you don't kill me for this, but you sat down with me 2 weeks ago. And here's my redneckisms. It felt like Cesar Millan for rednecks. You seriously she didn't need the backstory. She looked at me and went, okay, I got this. And it was amazing. I really I left that meeting and I've just been getting it done ever since. So
if I may, Mike, to say about, Peter and Angelique, I mean, just wonderful individuals doing wonderful things in the world. The world is a better place because of them. And I'm very blessed that they're both friends, very dear friends, and both very, very humble. I know in Angelique's case, honestly, I've said this many times, she's the best writer I've ever read. Anyone who doesn't follow her should. Her words impact lives, change lives. Her book is going to be amazing. And she's got a lot of things in the cards and a lot of good to come. And Peter, my gosh, I mean, I just admire his efforts and what he's done to impact the lives of so many foster children and others. And I mean, these are just people I greatly admire and respect. And I'm just so grateful for their friendship. And, they're championing this movement in various ways. And they truly do exemplify, as do you, Mike, what a Kindness Worldwide ambassador is all about.
Yeah, don't forget me. I'm going to get petty on you. So I tell you what, for folks who either need a refresher or maybe new to this or watching this later on, let's run just a 2-minute video, folks, that really came about before the film. And the film is just massive. And then we're going to talk about a little bit about some funny stuff, so don't leave. And then we're going to dive right into it because this is truly beginning to make a massive impact. And the only thing that we're missing or to be continued is scaling it up, spreading it more. That it works. So I can't wait to have this. Go ahead and run that video, my friend.
The universe has its ways of manifesting magic at a time of its choosing. That time was 9:57 a.m. on Good Friday morning, 2023. For such a time as this is the endearing story of two strangers whose lives were forever changed through fate and circumstances, and a simple act of kindness. One act of kindness was the ripple to become a wave that will touch and uplift the hearts of all. A mere desire to say thank you in a more meaningful way became an adventure of a lifetime, and so much more. pathways miraculously opened to make a meaningful difference and turn a moment into a movement to change the world with kindness and inspire kindness worldwide. With passion and purpose and an unwavering belief in the heart of a community, all is possible when you believe in the I'm possible. If something so magical can happen in one community, it can happen anywhere and everywhere. For such a time as this is our story. It's proof that no act of kindness is too small to make a difference and change a life, and that anyone can make a lasting impact and even change the world through kind actions. Why not us? Why not now? We invite you to write the future chapters of our story with us. This is our moment. This is our time. Believe the goodness. See the magic. Be the reason for the miracle to come. The pen is now ours to write the most beautiful chapters yet.
Together we'll stand. With love we create a ripple effect, hand in hand. We stand.
Well, we got to change that because it's already here. It's been here. And by the way, folks, I'm getting messages now. So sorry. I guess there's a StreamYard issue that's ongoing. People are trying to message on YouTube and they just can't. And LinkedIn's being glitchy. But we appreciate you. I'm glad you can see it. Stick in there, folks. You're going to get something out of this. And so real quick, Kevin, my gosh, you know, when you said you were going to do a film, I thought, wow, this guy he just doesn't stop. Like, woo-wee. And then we had the privilege and pleasure of taking that, Peter, to Podfest. Right, we brought Podfest in for another event. They saw you. We had a private viewing. They loved it. They showed it at Podfest. Man, we got to meet together, Russ Hedge, D. Scott, and you know it's coming now. We had a great time. We went to eat, and he did it again, y'all. Remember, 3 years ago. 3 years ago. Look at this. Look, there it is. He left that wallet there again, y'all. He almost left that wallet at the restaurant. And here's the funny part. I said, Kevin, I whispered in his ear when we left, Angelique. I said, Kevin, you do that on purpose? Because I was like, Kevin's not one for PR stunts, but I was curious. He said, no, it just happens. So we're going to get a GoFundMe so we can get him a big chain or something. But we had a good time. And I told him, I said, if you lose something else, man, we can't do two movements. So, but we had a blast. And Peter, here's what I want to ask you, my friend. When you met Kevin, you saw this story. What made you say yes to this? I mean, I know you're already a good-hearted man, but you probably get a lot of opportunities and people want stuff. So what was it about this that made you go, yeah, this aligns with me?
There's nothing the matter with doing good deeds one-on-one. What I see as the opportunity for my vertical of this is to allow anyone who wants to swim the river on their own, God bless, swim the river. But I want to build the bridge, and I want it to be 1,000 feet in the air, and I want it to be a 6-lane highway, and that will be a mechanism to get millions, possibly billions of people to actually try to make the world a better place. And I do believe it can be done. We're building it right now. I can describe it, but up to you. I said yes because I see an opportunity here, not only to lift up individual deeds of kindness, but to build a 6-lane highway where vast numbers of people can do acts of kindness. They can have a interface online where they can keep track of what they've done. And very significantly, when the people that they help pay it forward, the person who originated it with those people will be able to see what they did and how they did it. So it goes 1 to 3 to 9 to 27, and pretty much you get to 1 billion people quite quickly. So we're building the ecosystem, if you like, to encourage and measure kindness. And it's going to be very Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube connected, and it's going to involve hundreds and hundreds of influencers as well. And I really think we can be a magnifier.
Daggum straight. Well said. Exponential compound effect. That I tried to do it myself. Everything was a disaster. When I started helping out, pushing up great people like Kevin, boy, it took off like a rocket ship. So, Peter, I wish I'd known you 10 years ago, man. You may have saved me a lot of time, folks. So, Kevin, if you would recap this, because I'm gonna talk plainly, because I want the folks to know you're a very humble man. You don't do this for yourself. You absolutely do not do this for any ego-driven reasons or anything else. We're in this over 2 years. You're at that phase of life where most people, right? You're a successful guy. You have a family. And to go run around and spend a lot of time and money on kindness all across the globe and barely sleep for 3 years, Kevin, I want the folks out there to know, if you don't mind, share. At what moment did this movement, when did it go from inspiration to a movement? When did it go from, this is nice, the lady returned my wallet, some good things happened, to, I'm going to go do the craziest thing most people would think is go out there and spread kindness. What was that?
Well, I appreciate that. Well, I mean, this has been the most meaningful journey of my life. No words to describe it, but if I'm honest, it's turned my world upside down. This is, at this stage of my life, never my wildest dreams would I've envisioned starting any nonprofit, let alone one called Worldwide in its name. But it's called Worldwide for a reason, because that's where it's going, and that's what one act of kindness has spawned, a global movement. And I think the turning point, and there's a scene in the film, I call it my head drop moment. And this innocent endeavor just to identify who this young woman was and thank her in a more meaningful way, it literally took on a life of its own. And it morphed into what began as a community celebration of kindness. I wanted this young woman to be publicly recognized, felt she deserved it. And then I thought, what does a community celebration of kindness entail? And then I thought, well, I read where it was National French Fry Day. And I'm like, well, French fries are good. I like French fries. Too many French fries aren't good, but you can never have too much kindness. And like, why don't we why don't we proclaim a kindness week? And I did my research. There wasn't anything. So I got the York City mayor and then the commissioners and neighboring counties got governors and peer involved to proclaim a kindness week. And I thought, well, what does that week now mean? We recognize it. I think it's humanity's greatest asset. And I had the idea of kindness citations that evolved, and to improve police-community relations, and the idea of a blood drive. I read where there was a shortage of blood supply throughout the country. I'm like, well, why don't we inspire people to donate blood? We can save lives. It's a symbolic act of a way of paying an act of kindness forward. And I think if we inspire people, they'll do that. And all these ideas just kept coming and coming of what this community celebration of kindness would entail. And the head drop moment was my wife suggests I keep a journal of all the people I was meeting with. And I was meeting with people day after day, trying to get them to see what I see as the potential to bring people and communities together. And it was probably August of that year. It was 5 months into it. I had my objectives. I had a timeline. It was 75 pages. And it's now like 450, by the way. But it was sitting on my family room table. My brother-in-law was Michael Binko. He's done entrepreneurship his whole life. He advises startup companies, and he happened to be reading this document. He knew what I was doing, didn't know all the details. And Mike, I'm in my corner chair. I'm exhausted. I'm spent. I want this over. I want my life back. But I kind of knew this was getting bigger than me, and I was trying to deny it. But I just felt that this is just something that's spinning out of control. It's bigger. It's taking on life of its own. And tried to deny it, but my brother-in-law read this document. He looked up at me and he said, Kevin, he says, do you realize you've created in 5 months a sustainable, replicable model that has a higher probability of success than the most promising startup companies he's ever worked with? It takes 5 years or more to do. And I looked at him like, what model? What are you talking about? I'm just trying to plan this event.
Right.
And then he said, Kevin, this framework for Kindness Week, which, community celebration of kindness, it morphed into Kindness Week, now known as Kindness Week Worldwide. He said, our world needs this right now. You can't stop at York or Pennsylvania. You can bring Kindness Week Worldwide to communities anywhere and everywhere. You can't stop. You got to start a nonprofit. And by the way, Kindness Worldwide is available. That's a domain name. And again, the head drop moment was that moment where my head went down and my shoulders sank, and I knew my life would never be the same, because it just validated what I sensed all along. And, I say this is win-win. I mean, our world needs this right now. We need to bring people together.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's very meaningful to me, or, just to know I'm somehow being, part of this. But I also call it lose-lose, because if I said yes, I knew there was a price to that. The life I thought I was going to live, that's no more. And I haven't been comfortable. I've kind of confronted my fears every day, doing a dead sprint every single one of them. But if I didn't say yes because of, being afraid of, how it was going to upend my life, I also have a conscience. And I couldn't, in good conscience, say no, knowing that if there was a chance to do something that matters, to bring people together when there's so much division in the world, I had no choice. So here I am. I'm figuring out as I go. I'm still, every day is just a new adventure, and it's bigger than me, but I'm surrounded by wonderful people like yourself and Angelique and Peter and the pastors that are really embracing this and supporting me in various ways. But I'm still figuring out as I go, and letting go and letting her rip, so to speak. And it is what it is. So
it is. Well, Kevin, what I hear you saying, it was bigger than me. It was bigger than one act, one sentiment, one nice gesture. This thing just kept finding you. And I want to get to Angelique, but I want to set the stage for this because, that one act, as you said, just kept scaling. This happened, that happened. Then Michael Binko's going, this is a strategy. And you're like, man, I just wrote that on a napkin. Like, what are you talking about? And it just kept finding you. And then that led to, you're getting a bipartisan coalition of governors, right? You spoke at UN. You spent time at Vatican. This thing, cultural bridges are being built or strengthened. This thing is really, really hitting. And we're going to get to that, folks. So we're going to talk about the measurable impact in a minute. But before we do, Angelique, storytelling, that's your thing, right? To say it's an understatement. But, it's always shaped culture. We've told stories as human beings up until the 1500s, right? Like that was the main medium of communication. So what makes this story different? What is it that inspires you, excites you? Why are you behind this? Because you've got a lot of options. And so it means something, right?
Well, what kindness means in general to me is an elevation of consciousness. And unfortunately, we are in a place where our consciousness is lower level. And there's a lot of people that suffer from that lower level consciousness. And there are a couple of different ways that we could combat it. And one of those ways is through kindness. We are largely taught to do these nasty kind of things, but we can also be taught to do kind things. If you look at children are not inherently bad or good. They just kind of act out of their emotions. And those kindness things that we do with one another, whether you're complimenting somebody, whether you're lifting somebody up, whether you're helping somebody who's in need, or just being there for people and being a support to people, that energy does cause a ripple effect. That energy is infectious. The same way when you aren't kind to somebody, that energy is infectious. So it's a choice. And we are in a time, and I think such a time as this is interesting because it's a double entendre. I mean that because, yes, this is a time for kindness, but it is much needed in this time because we are so tipped to one side of the polarity spectrum that we need to bounce back. And it's not always easy to do for people. So you have a tool like this, Kevin, and the whole team of kindness ambassadors are bringing this to the forefront. It's something that people can do and be a part of and then be celebrated because of it. So I think it's incredibly important, far beyond just, the movement itself, the movie, and it's all bigger than that. It's something that Kevin, and he knows this, was gifted. And I really do think it's something that is supposed to go to the world, which is why it keeps pounding Kevin on the head every 5 minutes, every time he looks around, even when he's like, no, I don't know which way to go. And it comes back and smacks him again. So yeah, I actually believe this is a consciousness thing and it is a time for it. So yeah, it's perfect timing for this.
I meant to look back and what was that?
This story of kindness. It's the perfect time.
When you were talking, I was looking backstage to see if April was smiling ear to ear. She had to be. She has been a great guide to me. So don't frown at me backstage. I'm giving you a compliment. So yeah, you two are birds of a feather. So I tell you what, let's play this clip because I want to really dive into the measurable impact here, folks. Because this again, it's like, well, it feels good, and that's great. I love the humanitarian nature behind it. But like Peter alluded to, when we organize and put this in the systems, make those systems better, now we can impact more people faster, right? Exponential growth. So let's go ahead and run that clip too.
Into a broken department in a poor community that was riddled with gun violence and death The department itself was at an all-time morale low. We were literally losing a young person like a month. It was combating things in a way that nobody could deny that there was love behind it. Nobody could deny that there was caring behind it, that it was that it was real. The first time I had a mom pull over and thank me because she finally felt comfortable having her kids walk home from school. I was done. I was done right there. I knew why God sent me here. You can't fail when you're trying to help people. You can't fail being good to people. You can't fail being kind.
My goodness. So I had worked for years, back about 8 years ago with the city, right? And the food banks, and I worked with some of the city leaders. And, you know, it was like, oh, well, we do the best we can, not knocking them. But when I found out that, you know, Michael Muldrow, he is a special type of guy. He is absolutely, I mean, wow, right? Tip my hat to him. And he was bold enough, maybe even crazy enough in some people's eyes, to say, hey, you know what? Kindness and humanity probably can fix the broken departments, right? The relationships can probably do something. And I like it because I'm like, well, shit, ain't nothing else work. Well, might as well, right? And so, man, I loved it because this guy did it. And when I saw kindness citations, I lost it, dude. I was like, can you imagine getting a kindness citation for Pete's sake? Finally, someone's onto it. So, Kevin, I want to pull the screen up. If you all show the stats on the screen, April, we had Dr. Jamie Norpel on, my gosh, last year. And it blew my mind, the numbers behind this and how kindness, human beings who said, hey, I'm going to use kindness to go do and make an intentional change. It worked. So walk us through that a little bit. You know, what's your rendition? You know, were you blown away by the results? Kind of give us the overview.
I don't think the results surprised me at all. I think when you have a culture of kindness, there's positive implications across the board. One measures the cost of crime. There's an organization, the RAND study, actually measures and quantifies the cost of crime, different types of crime. This slide shows the cost of a homicide. It's roughly $13 million of cost for every homicide. And if you look at the experience of York County, coincidentally, kind of when this movement began, and there's a lot of things that go into this. One is visionary leadership of Commissioner Muldrow and others. But the number of homicides in York County dropped over a few-year period by like 60%. And if you quantify the economic impact of that, cumulatively, it's been over $500 million in a few years' time. Now, Commissioner Muldrow, I mean, you saw the clip of him. I mean, honestly, there could not be any better champion of kindness citations than Commissioner Muldrow. I mean, when we came up with the idea of kindness citations, I had a graphic designer come up with the concept. Now I had to find someone who's willing to do it. And, I was just getting out there and trying to find people to champion this vision and support it. And someone said, you got to meet Commissioner Muldrow. He'll be all over it. And sure enough, we connected, and he could not have been a more visible, prominent champion. He was in his patrol car talking about, issuing kindness citations and posting about it. And it just was really magical. And he also felt that when he took over the role of York City Police Commissioner, he felt if I expect my residents in my community to walk and be safe without a gun, then I got to be willing to do it myself. So he's the police commissioner, and he went out and patrolled without a gun and made everyone know he wasn't carrying a gun.
Yeah.
And that's just unheard of. And but the results speak for themselves. I mean, people respected him. And then this past year, he had a goal. He said, you know what? York City, like he said, it was riddled with violence for many years and not the safest place to be. It's come a long way. It's a very safe place now. But he said, I think we can go 100 consecutive days without gun violence. And everyone said, no way, can't happen. Sure enough, it happened. And he brought the community together to celebrate, and because everyone's a part of it. It takes a village, takes a community for that to happen. And there was a scene in the film. I'm not in law enforcement, but my title is Chief Kindness Chaser of Kindness Worldwide. So I believe that does give me the authority if I choose to issue a kindness citation. And I'd only ever given out two. One was to Brooke Dobbs when we publicly recognized her. She was the first to receive a kindness citation. That was a very endearing moment. But I knew Commissioner Muldrow had to get his own. And when I gave him that citation, it was very meaningful for him. And it was a very emotional, and he welled up. And there's a scene in the film that touches on that. And, you know, he's so prominent about seeing other people, seeing the good in others and being a champion of others. But for someone to see the good in him, you know, we often take for granted, everyone just wants to be seen. Everyone wants to feel valued, appreciated. But it starts with visionary leadership, and there's positive economic impact among many other positive effects of kindness.
Absolutely. I mean, property values went up because crime rates went down, on and on and on. So Kevin, briefly, if you don't mind, before we move into the leadership and really, you know, how folks can, the application of this, how can they incorporate this in their community, their business? We're going to talk about that, pick the brains of these two amazing folks. But what does that mean for a CEO, a community leader, government leader, right? What does this mean for them? Does that mean that there is a way they can implement this? This is scalable and duplicatable. What do you think this means for leaders?
Well, I think it starts with visionary leadership and those that are willing to lead with kindness. And, you know, in business, everyone focuses on ROI, return on investment. Mm-hmm. Well, I think the key is ROK, return on kindness, because kindness costs nothing. It's free, but the benefits are exponential. And when you lead with kindness and you create a culture in your organization, you know, people are more productive and turnover goes down and productivity goes up. And that leads to all the metrics that people associate with running a successful business. And there's programs out there that you can, you know, implement in your workplace to instill that culture. Same thing with schools. You know, we teach academics in classrooms, and that's important, but we need to teach values and principles and kindness. And, you know, Peter has done, you know, wonderful results in his organizations and seeing the positive impact of how you're changing lives by teaching them those values. You know, when I think about the movement of kindness worldwide, I mean, we want to make kindness part of our infrastructure, and we want to institutionalize kindness. And I think we can engage the political system to do that. I mean, we had Governor Shapiro formally recognize Kindness Week worldwide, and we're working on bipartisan coalitions. I think every governor should formally recognize kindness. In fact, every country. I mean, that's why I was at the United Nations last year. And look, if we can bring people together for 8 days every year, remind them that there's far more that unites than divides, you know, we can create mindful habits and behaviors that extend throughout the year. But we've got to start somewhere, and we've got to remind people of the power we possess of just doing the little things to be kind. We can point the finger at others all day long. There's a lot of finger pointing to go around as to why we have all the divisiveness in our world today. But at the end of the day, my world began to change when I looked in the mirror and I pointed at me. Right. And I realized that I can't control anyone else's actions and behaviors, but I can control my own. And I was a good person before Good Friday morning 2023. I'm a much better person today because of one act of kindness. And if that small act of kindness could have such an impact on me the way it did, you know, the beauty of this, you know, Brooke Dobbs' act of kindness, we can trace the ripple effects. We can see all the good it's done in the world, but I would argue each and every day, each and every one of us does small acts of kindness that have just the profound ripple effects that touch and change people's lives. We may never know what those ripple effects are, but they're no less important, no less meaningful. And I'm really excited about what Peter and I are working on, and Michael and others, to really create this technology, this platform, to be able to measure and trace the generation of kindness and what that's going to mean. It literally is groundbreaking, and it literally will change lives, save lives, and it'll change the world.
You know, it almost personifies what I've heard, you know, Marcus Aurelius quoted, right? Instead of wasting time talking about what a good man should be, just be one, right? That's it. Like, you're like, hey, I could talk, I could write dissertations, but I just wanted to go do it. And then it worked. And you're like, oh, hey, you know, how about that? And do it again. So Peter, I'm going to start with you, and then we're going to weave Angelique into the story. But, you know, you work with a lot of institutions, and you built institutions, right? You're doing amazing work in business philanthropy. If you were advising a Fortune 50 CEO, a big leader, you know, if you're just talking to someone in leadership at a national level, where would kindness show up structurally? Where would that realism fit in? Oh, he's muted. Who? Uh-oh.
Mute me. There we go.
There you go.
So there are four purposes in the life of a CEO: who you serve. All of them understand you serve the owners, you serve the stockholders, you try and give them a return on their dollar investments. Some who are smarter realize you also have to take care of your staff, your colleagues, your employees. The even smarter ones realize that you have to be there for your customers, your clients. You have to do right by them. And then there is the ultimate CEO who thinks in terms of the role of the company in their community. Cut that cake however you want. And the smartest of the CEOs realize that they must contribute to the culture of their communities, their staff, their clients, and yes, even their stockholders. How do you do that? Not that easy. And how do you do it in a ridiculously politically polarized world where you dare not say a whole lot of things because half the country will boycott you? What can you do that appeals to the higher angels of human beings right across the political spectrum? And I would say that is that you put the shoulder against the wheel of kindness and you help everybody in your circles of influence to do the right thing and to go the extra yard and to be kind. In the platform that we're building, which is called ROK, which is opportunities for kindness, we are going to create a points-based system. If you think of what Amway does to sell stuff and Mary Kay Cosmetics or Tupperware, it's a system where the activities of the people that you brought into the organization help you financially. Money goes upstream to the original introducers of a whole family tree of people out there flogging Tupperware. Well, we're not going to be selling Tupperware, and there's no dollars in our system. Our commodity is kindness. But when one of the people that you introduced to our software, to our platform, when they register and they pay an act of generosity that you did to them, we ask them to pay it forward 3 times. And then each of the people that they reach out to pays it forward 3 times. So now we're at 9, and then we're at 27. And so the thing grows. I think once we put this together and we award tier membership, congratulations, you now have 1,000 points. And that is not only kudos, it may also mean you go to the state capitol and you get your kind person in Ohio this month medal, and you take your friends and your family and you get recognition, and it's a press moment as well. And we work with influencers across all the social media. I think this is a thing. We have to do this. Hatred, to which we aspire to be the antidote, hatred is very powerful. Let's call a truth a truth. If you hate someone, it's kind of makes you feel good in a kind of back of the brain amygdala way, fight, flight, or freeze. Hatred is a powerful emotion. There is a whole lot more of it around now than there were a few years ago. We have to build robust, no point in doing it if it's wimpy. We must build a robust structure, and that's precisely what we're doing, so that we strongly encourage and recognize and praise and give press to people who do acts of kindness. We're going to do it. It's going to be a thing. It is the engine that's going to drive what Kevin has been working on, and Angelique and many others, yay, this long time. We're simply an amplifier. We're going to make it go viral, and we will know that we've succeeded in the virality when we can take our foot even off the accelerator, but it continues replicating itself in these kind of ripples on the pond, these family trees of helpfulness and kindness and generosity and empathy. We got to do it, because otherwise the haters are going to win.
Do y'all feel the energy and excitement, authenticity? He's just on fire. He's not over here performing, reading script. He wants to get stuff done. My goodness, man, that's a man of my own heart. And it goes without saying, Angelique, she's all doer, man. Like, she's ready to go. And this is what we're talking about. Company. What I found, Peter, correct me if I'm wrong, Angelique, Kevin, I don't do what I do because it's good business. I do what I do because that's who I am. Right. That's how I want to do business. I want to lead with relationships. I want business marriages. I'm not interested in one night stands. Not knocking it, just not for me. Okay.
Well,
And
I think like,
what you a business person and actually you could get it done. It's the byproduct of being a good person. You guys are making this a systematic thing, correct?
what you just shared and alluded to is there's three qualities I look for: the people I want to surround myself with, people I feel are worthy of being ambassadors to champion this movement. I look for heart, passion, and purpose. Heart is where it begins. Got to be in this heart space. That's a given, right? Good character, values, integrity. And then when you have that with passion and purpose, and you can sense that, you can sense the energy, Peter and Angelique and Mike, magic happens. And that's what all the ambassadors are all about. And we all want to make our world a better place. And we're all very passionate about the ability to do that and see a path for this movement that began innocently enough from a simple act of kindness. It's taken on life of its own. And we have an opportunity for such a time as this to really do everything that the world needs at the perfect time.
Well said, my friend. Now, Angelique, all right, this is for you, my friend. So all about story, right? Here's what I'm wondering. How do leaders weave their story into systems without it becoming performative, right? And when I say performative, it's simple, right? I'm showing up, I'm playing a script, I'm saying whatever's going to get the sale. I say this because they'll do that. You are one of the most authentic, realest people on the planet. So how do people weave their stories into systems without doing all that performative fake nonsense? What are some characteristics?
Well, we talk about influence a lot. We talk about influencers. We talk about people who are influential, but a lot of that is service to self or service to money or service to lower vibrational energy. But if you have what I like to call compassionate influence, then that means that you're using your influence to raise compassion, raise the vibe, to love on other people, to bring people up instead of down, to bring people into community instead of isolationism, to make it about them. Service to self is not really something that unifies us, but service to others and showing up for others and coming from a heart-centered place. I think we talked about this before about heart-led entrepreneurs, people that are doing things from the heart and including people in this community and including people in it instead of excluding or making people feel like they're somehow beneath. Or I always hate the word fan. I don't think fan is a great word, because fan is saying that you are worshiping something or something is somehow above you instead of, all of us coming together and being on equal ground. So if you want to be somebody who is a leader and who is out there doing the thing without making it look like it's a show, then come from your heart. It's very simple. There's nothing to think about if you're actually speaking from the heart. There's nothing to show anybody if you're just showing up as yourself and you're being unapologetically you. People are going to feel that. They're going to feel you before they ever hear you. And that's a fact. And you could go to the Heart Math Institute and they'll tell you about the, 3 feet out in front. So yeah, that would be my advice. Just be you. And when you are you and you show up unapologetically for other people, you start to unify the world.
Okay, real quick before we go into that, and Kevin, you can chime because I want to show this video. But Angelique, one of the things that all the whole hounds, but April and Curtis and you, I didn't realize till a very long age, till an older age, that I could define success for myself. I didn't know I got to choose who I want to be, who I want to become, who my best self is. A lot of folks out there, we think we're the only ones, Peter. I found out that people are just better hiding it than I was. Everybody feels that we're human. So what do you say to that? Like, amen to that? I mean, what's it like? You can change, the things in your life, your mindset.
Everything you have to change in your life. Who you are as a person and your success is not defined by something that is somehow written somewhere else. There's a bunch of rules that were made up by people who have these clubs that they don't want anybody in. So you have the club of you that you say, hey, you know what? I'm going to be unapologetically me. And anybody who wants to be here with me, we're here together. That's success, my friend. Money does not always define success. Accolades are not success. These are things that are part of a system, and we're here to break that system. And we're here to say to people, you show up as you be you, and all the rest of it's going to come your way, but not to be focused on things that don't matter, because in the end, who you are matters more than what you do and what you have.
Kevin, I'll let you chime before we get, but I have to say this. I just remembered a lady that was a mentor when I got nonprofit. Seriously, she was so accomplished. She took a dumpster, y'all, like a 10 by 10 dumpster, and filled it with her plaques and all of this accolades. And I said, what are you doing? I got 2 plaques. I was going to guard them for life at the time. And she said, that's just stuff. And that's what I hear you saying. It's like, yeah, I'm not knocking it, but that's somebody who's kind of grown to that next level, right? Hey, I'm here because I want to leave a legacy. Plaques are nice, nothing wrong with them. But what carries on 100 years, 200 years afterwards? That's what we're talking here, right, Peter? Right, Kevin?
Look at the tombstones in a cemetery. Not a single one says he died with $1 billion in the bank. Not one. What they say is he was the kindest person you ever met. He was the best grandpa that a kid could ever have. It's all to do with kindness and working every day in every way in every moment to try to make the world a better place. And that's why I wrote the book. I realized that when you practice that, you yourself become happier. And that's a scientific reality. And where storytelling and narrative comes in is in order to encourage someone to do something, beyond anything else, you have to move their heart. When I make a film and I stand at the back of the theater, my goal is to either scare the heck out of them, make them laugh like a drain, and more than anything else, to make them feel empathy and identification with a character that we put on the screen, usually someone in jeopardy, and then we're rooting for them and so forth. What we do with storytelling, and remember, before the 16th century, storytelling, person stands on a rock and tells a story. That's all we had. We didn't have books. So storytelling, by creating this moment in someone's heart where they are deeply attached to what's going on and they are feeling emotional vulnerability, it is in that moment that you can encourage them. If you give them a system and some pointers and some examples that they can emulate, you are giving them a path where they can then feel really good by being really good to one or more other people. And I think that in the end is what makes the world go round. We cannot let the haters, and by the way, hatred is not political. It comes from both ends. It's ambidextrous. I now feel about politics that the two ends of extremes go round the back and shake hands and work together. So you can't tell the difference between them. But we are the antidote to the hatred, and we better do it, because otherwise, what are we going to do? Say to our grandchildren, I'm so sorry we've left you this world. It's so full of hatred, you can't leave the house. We're not going to do that. We have to push back, and we must do it robustly. You know, we've got to be the people faced with guns. We've got to put flowers up the barrels of the guns. We have to be brave and clever and systematic and build the bridge and not keep wading across the river.
Okay, we're going to have to call around to bring y'all back, because this whole thing could be another episode. But just to cap that before we show the video, you know, we're the hounds of business. We're here for heart-centered business, push up movements, unify folks. And folks out there, like you're talking about, I want you all to be encouraged, because I know this audience fairly well. And I want you to see that these folks care. right? What good is time and money and freedom unless you're going to use that for benefit mankind? There you go. If you need somebody to look up to, there you go. I'm Peter, Angelique, you're my heroes. I'm telling you, right? Kevin's already been on that list. But that's the point, is to go out there and get it done. So if you sell dog collars on Amazon, maybe you don't need a lot of this, but most companies out there are service-based companies, right? They do care, they do lead, and they want to leave more than just, rate of return. They want to leave impact. And thank you so much for saying that. Let's go ahead and roll the clip, and then we'll bring it back.
Or culturally, it's more important than ever that we see each other as human beings, that we recognize the humanity in one another, and we strive to build those bonds, build those relationships, because that is what makes us human. It's all part of that human experience, is working together, because we are all living on this planet together. We're all sharing one experience.
Man, if only I could go as short as the clip sometimes. But listen, hey, I'm not alone. I am so thrilled to see this. Seriously, all we see is the negativity in life, right? Angelique, Peter, Kevin, and I was sick of it. It doesn't minimize the pain and the challenges. But you know what? Sitting around watching the news, being depressed, ain't going to do a daggone thing. And this is a real movement. So with leaders like you guys stepping in and doing things and creating things for folks, that's it. That's what the Hounds wanted to see. They're like, we're not alone. No, we're not alone. Look at these rock stars doing it. So Kevin and everybody, chime in on this. Free for all right now. Then we'll go to the lightning round, and then I want folks to know where to find you. They want to support you, learn about you, and so we're going to let them know how to do that. But what is this Champion of Kindness activation? Dive a little bit. We're going to put the Champions Initiative back on the screen, and this is an invitation, not a pitch. You don't sell kindness for dadgum's sake. You share kindness, right? But this is something that companies, entities, leaders, communities can tap into. And really get value, and publicity and things come from it. It's not why we're doing it, but it is very much advantageous. So walk us through it, Kevin. Lead the charge. Folks, chime in and have this. Is your time.
Yeah, well, Champions of Kindness is a new initiative that Kindness Worldwide will soon be launching. There's a number of aspects of it. One is a pathway to become an ambassador. I've had a lot of overwhelming number of people wanting to be an ambassador. And this is a pathway. People who champion this movement in various ways, people who bring Kindness Week Worldwide to their communities, or are doing things or have ideas that can really accelerate this movement, because we want to spread this movement, again, throughout the world. It's already a global movement, but we want to bring Kindness Week Worldwide to every community and have governors embracing it and others. And so ambassadors are really those that are really championing this effort. People like Peter and Angelique going the extra mile, so to speak. And champions are those who, it's a pathway for more to become ambassadors who want to be involved and to get there. But also more beyond that, we want to celebrate champions of kindness throughout the year. Obviously, we have Kindness Week Worldwide. Our signature initiative is 8 days every November. And the hope is that'll develop mindful habits and behaviors that carry us throughout the year, so we can have a culture of kindness every day throughout the year, as we should. And so champions are those that are doing kind things their own ways. And it's going to be revolutionary. This platform is going to underpin it all. Rock is going to be groundbreaking, because we will be able to measure kindness, and people who are champions their own ways and getting points for their kindness and seeing how their kindness is paid forward, and being able to drill down by community, by state, by region, by country, and celebrate champions, every week, every month throughout the year. And I've always said that we all recognize we need more kindness in the world. I don't think anyone would disagree with that. People just don't know how to do it. Well, we encourage it, we recognize it, we reward it, and we celebrate it. And if people are celebrated for their kindness, and people are validated and being seen and acknowledged, they will do more of it, and others will be encouraged to do the same. That's kind of what Kindness Citation was about, to see the good in our communities. We're going to take it to a whole other level through Champions of Kindness, and Rock's going to underpin it all. And it's going to be groundbreaking. And so stay tuned. There's a lot of good to come. You're seeing a very small slice of it today, but mark my words, this movement already has and will continue to change the world, and with what's coming, even more so. We're just going to accelerate this movement even more.
Can I chime in?
Yeah, please do, Peter.
if you don't ask, you don't get. And I have an ask, because this is an amazing group of people tuned in. If you think that the idea of the Amway of kindness, a multi-level marketing, not of money and Tupperware, but of kindness, if that resonates for you, whether you're in business or you're in a community or you're leading a faith-based community or whatever it is that you do, if it rings a bell for you, you'll see how to reach me in a little bit, in 5 minutes. And I'd love to hear from you, because we are literally programming it at the moment as an app, as a website, as a QR code, as a points-based, tier-based system, all of it designed to make kindness go viral in as sophisticated and empathy-ridden and driven way as we possibly can. This is a very good time to get involved, and it can be one of your kindnesses that you do. Reach out to me. I'm happy to get on a Zoom.
See, I get quiet and everybody's like, what happened? Did his mic break? No, I do that every now and then. Angelique, your thoughts, your would you like to share?
My thoughts is that the pen is mightier than the sword. And so you go out in the world and you use that pen to rewrite your story. You don't have to do it with hate and violence and fear. You just go right out there and you rewrite it with love and kindness and compassion. And if everybody does that and makes that choice, then before we know it, we're going to have a world that looks very, very different. Very different.
Oh my goodness gracious. I tell you what, let's do this. Folks, don't leave, don't go anywhere. And again, thank you for the grace. I don't know why people can't comment, but thank you for the folks who are sticking with us, watching. You send me a carrier pigeon, you can send me a DM on our platform, whatever it takes, y'all. On LinkedIn, Mike Asherbrenner, Redneck1. We'll plug you in and go to kindnessworldwide.org. Follow Kevin on LinkedIn. Follow these folks. They're always posted about all their great stuff. So I tell you what, about 20, 30 seconds before our lightning round, tell again. I know, Peter, you told us a little bit, but tell us again, man. You can't tell us enough. Where can folks find you? What do you want to share? What can they join, plug into, personally, professionally? They want to know how to support you, Peter. Where can they go?
Okay, you're looking at it right there on www.samuelson.la. There is, how you can email, and I'll respond, and we'll have what I'm focused on at the moment is I want within the next 4 months to actually launch this ROK, Random Opportunities for Kindness. And we're going to do exactly that. We need all manner of expertise and partnership and so forth. One of the great things about running a kindness movement, as Kevin and Angelique well know, is people want to help you. And I'm one of my joys as a film producer is crewing something with the best possible people in every aspect. This is a little bit like that. But it started as with making a film. You ask yourself, can I pitch this? Is this a big enough idea? Is it worth years of my time? The answer here is yeah. Why do it? Well, it's not just for your tombstone. It's also because you want your grandchildren to inherit a world better than, the one that we were given. And I don't think we can say that as a society at the moment. More fool us. It's our obligation carrying the baton of human life to make it a better baton by the time we pass it on. And ours is an initiative to enable that, to demonstrate it, to measure it, to encourage it, to keep track of it. And that's what we're doing. And it's an honor and a privilege, and I've so enjoyed this.
Oh, my pleasure. And the comments are driving me nuts because I know the hounds. Listen, love in action. Like every time I wanted to quit, Angelique, Peter, every time I wanted to quit and I was serious about quitting, guess what? I get a text message from someone going, "Oh, you changed my life." And I'm going, see, now how can I quit now? I mean, if I don't go through all the stuff, we're not going to see an impact. And it's been a high honor to work with people like Kevin and you guys and all the hounds and all the audience, because I wasn't alone. And that's the whole calling card. Get with people who will push you up, believe in you, help you do things. This is what's happening. And you guys play at the highest level, and you still have the biggest hearts. That's mind blowing, because a lot don't. Let's get real. So we're not knocking others. We're just celebrating the ones who are going, yeah, we're going to make something of ourselves. We're going to go out there and empower other people. And you're doing it, not just talking about it. So, hey, nobody better than to lead on with that than Angelique. My friend, you are all heart. You live to help others. You've been through a whole lot of stuff in life. And I saw firsthand what you can do for somebody, because you're just there. You care about people. So do not be shy. You have a book dropping this Saturday. I know the people here are going to want to help with that. So take it away.
Yeah, thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. And back at you, my friend. You've actually been a great friend, Kevin, as well, helping me through a tough time. So, community really does help people open their hearts and heal their hearts, right? Especially when they're broken. Yes, so my book is Keep Shining, and it's coming out, for pre-order on Saturday. You can connect with me at my website or LinkedIn or Facebook or TikTok or Instagram or Substack. I'm kind of everywhere. So anywhere you are, you can find me. And let me know, what you want to do to change the world. Everything is just one choice away from, elevating.
Well, the first thing I'm going to do is get this guy a chain for his wallet there.
You need to
right here, Mike.
find me. Mike, you have to get him a Go Find Me page, not a Go Fund Me.
You go
a tracker in his wallet.
I've said this many times. I think you could find Jimmy Hoffa's body in this.
I was going to say,
like
man,
a air tag, Kevin.
we got every receipt from
Anything
19.
and everything is in there. My whole life depends upon this.
It's like a pillow. Did you see that, Peter?
Yeah, I've had enchiladas smaller than that.
Oh, we're gonna have the
I
roast
still
of Kevin.
can't keep track of it. That's the thing.
Hey, the roast of Kevin, because we love you, brother. It's seriously,
We tease because we love. My friends and family tell me that all the time. So I get teased a lot. I'm very grateful for it.
Yeah, it's all in good love, man. It's all in good fun, because you are a good man. You pushed me up, and it's an honor to push you up. You helped me when I was getting traction, and then now you're getting traction. We just keep pushing each other up, and that's the calling card. Companies, smart startups, scale ups, it doesn't matter. Hey, relationships, getting things done, join this positive bandwagon. Seriously, there's enough nonsense. Partnerships and collaborations at this level, that's intentional, and it is under the kindness of a banner of kindness. And yeah, we have the systems, we have all that stuff, but we put the horse before the cart, right, Angelique? Horse before the cart. Humanity first. The right people in the right room figure stuff out. You guys have been dead on showing that in real life. So Kevin Smith, all right, folks can go to kindnessworldwide.org. What else would you like us to know? And also the update on the documentary, if you can. Then we'll get to the lightning round. Then we'll let the good folks go to sleep.
Yeah, well, the documentary is gaining a lot of traction in film festivals. People often ask why, and I think you got to see it. It's a film that not just watched but felt. But I think we talked earlier about heart, and people relate to the characters in the film. They see themselves because it's real people, and it's real, it's raw, real stories, real life. And people opened up in the film, and they were vulnerable, and they were sharing their stories. And the ripple effects of this one act of kindness by Brooke Dubs has been felt throughout the world. It's touched many lives, and many powerful stories of the transformative power of kindness have become interwoven with this original story of a lost wallet. So, excited for that. And it's just a means to awareness of the movement. Other than that, I'm just going to go the extra mile to really encourage everyone to buy Keep Shining, buy Finding Happy. There's powerful words, the power of the pen, as Angelique alluded to. We underestimate the power of words. Peter's a brilliant writer, writes from the heart, as is Angelique. So please, I encourage you to purchase their books. It will touch your heart. I have no doubt about it. And just feel free to reach out to any of us. I'm an open book. I'm on LinkedIn and Kindness Worldwide. I'm very accessible, and I always try my best to get back in a timely manner. My email boxes are pretty flooded these days, but I try. And so if you don't hear back from me right away, it's not intentional. So bear with me, but please reach out at any time.
Yes, sir. You're all heart. And by the way, if you don't play one of those guitars on live stream, we're going to assume they're full of candy. kind of like somebody alluded to backstage. All right, so, and by the way, if you play, it's not with me. You're going to embarrass me. My daughter, she'll give you a run for your money if anybody can. So, all right, folks, I'm going to say this last. We'll get the speed round, then we're going to head out. How's that sound? But thank you all. Seriously, you guys do this every single day. This is the whole point. Culture will not change overnight, and it daggum sure ain't going to change by itself. Not the way we want it to go. We've seen that. But it does change when leaders decide that, hey, we're going to be kind. We're going to build kind infrastructures. We're going to come together. We're going to collaborate. We're going to figure it out. We're going to make it happen. Maybe not perfect, but we're going to get it. We're going to get it in. So thank you all. Thank you all for all you do. You spend so much time and investment doing things that most people won't. And that's what I love about this. This is why folks in the comments, folks I know, we world-renowned surgeons who are running around doing like Kevin, right, just to make the world a better place for healthcare. Same thing over and over again. And I love you guys. I'm living the dream because of that. And being surrounded by these folks and seeing you elevate, push me up means the world. So, folks, shameless plug. Don't do this alone. If you went through something and you have a heart to go out there and make it happen, hey, don't do it alone. No strays out there. We're not the only place, but we may be the place for you, right? So if you want to build through relationships, something here, you felt it makes sense. Hey, send me a DM. If there's a mutual fit, seems like a good fit, we might invite you to a network. We might let you try it out. Go on that first date, so to speak. Otherwise, go share it with somebody because they want to be somebody and do something special. They're holding that in, and all they need to be around is the right room, right people. That's what we're about. So love you guys. Let's get to the speed round. Y'all ready? Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. Fill in the blank. All right, Kevin, we're going to pick on you first. Kindness in leadership fails when?
Kindness never fails in leadership.
Oh, maybe we should have made him go last. That was good. I'm glad I'm not answering. Angelique, kindness in leadership fails when?
Oh, God. When we don't show up for others.
Nice. Kevin, you're going last forever now. All right, Peter.
Kindness in leadership fails when the leader forgets that the best way to generate return on investment is by injecting kindness into every part of the relationship with the customers, the staff, the communities, and the investors.
Yes. And culture shifts when blank, Peter. Because I told you we're not going to Kevin first. Culture shifts when?
Culture shifts when empathy is the route to common interest. And we need to realize that culture is not just music, dance, art, sculpture, etc. What we think of as culture, it's also a culture of kindness. And that is equally as important as any of the great masters in any of those other areas of culture. It should be celebrated, encouraged, and understood and replicated.
Wonderful. Culture shifts when? Angelique.
Culture shifts when we remember the golden rule that we do unto others as we would want done unto us. And we treat people with kindness and acceptance and understand that everybody is a perspective of the whole. And so if we can take in that perspective without judgment, we can shift consciousness.
I was going to skip Kevin, but he's just too daggum nice. So, Kevin, go. I'm joking, y'all. Don't get mad at me. Don't say
I'm chopping at the bit here. And, culture shifts when 3.5% of a population engages in a sustained campaign of peaceful, nonviolent resistance. Harvard did a study that concluded just that. This movement's getting close to that 3.5% tipping point. The aim is to literally change the culture, and if we do, we'll change the world.
Yeah, and the evidence, that's what blows me away. So 2 more. All right, Angelique, I'm going to throw this one at you, my friend.
Okay.
If every CEO understood blank, everything would change. Or every leader.
If every leader, what? I'm sorry, you blanked.
If every leader understood blank, everything would change.
Oh, if every leader understood compassion, I mean, crap. I mean, if you understood the human condition, You know what? I'm sorry, sir, but there is a whole book of these, things that these leaders can learn from. They need to understand a lot of things, I think, and kindness can move forward a lot easier. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Who does? Peter.
If every CEO understood servant leadership, everything would change. Servant leadership is a Peter Drucker book, and it explains how the optimal leaders are not dictatorial. They are right there in the trenches with their employees, and they absolutely are leading and absolutely making decisions, but they are doing it as a member of the team and not as a dictatorial, top-down dictator of terms and conditions. The servant leaders in our midst, and there are a lot of them, do so much better. Those are the companies where people want to work, and those are the companies where consumers want to buy.
Dadgum straight, but I will put this caveat, especially for people, the folks like us, the entrepreneurs, scale ups, the right people. That's the key. I was giving everything away to everybody. Don't do that. Make sure that you're aligned with the right people who share those values, right? And then you don't stay up at night like I did. All right, Kevin, did I let you go on this one, or am I trying to X you again?
Well, I'm
you
happy
are a
to-
CEO. I want people to understand you have built businesses. You're a CEO. You're a very successful guy, and so you carry weight in this combo. We don't talk about it because you blush, but you are a businessman. That's what I love about this movement, because yes, it's heart-centered, but there's an intention to spread it. And that's what this message was. So if every CEO understood blank, everything would change.
If every CEO understood that ROK is the key to ROI, businesses would be transformed and lives would be changed.
Daggum straight, man. Compound interest, just same stuff. All right, last one, I promise. Speed round. The future of kindness depends on blank, Kevin.
Us, everyone in our global community. Kindness is a choice. It's free, has profound benefits, the greatest superpower on the planet. All it requires is a simple choice to exercise it. If each and every one of us simply made a choice to be the reason someone believes in the goodness of people, our world would instantly change.
Daggum straight. Angelique. You always hear.
I mean, I think that's really the answer. I don't think there's another us or you, depending, people out there, it's you. It depends on your choice, showing up every day for it, changing your consciousness, changing your choice, and aligning yourself with your, highest and best, making sure that every choice you make is not just service to yourself, but service to others.
I feel like Kevin took the words out of my mouth. I'm like, yeah, what he said.
I think that's actually the answer to your question. Like sometimes there's just an answer to the question.
Us. Like, enough said. Well said. Yeah. Angelique, I agree. And Peter, what do you say? The future of kindness depends on blank.
The future of kindness, it's really the Nike slogan beyond anything else. Just do it. Do it.
I love it.
Do it. If you can also not only do it, but build a system to do it with your goal, let's make it viral and let's make it robust and let's make it the antidote to the ever-growing world of hatred and othering and awfulness. We are better than that. This is the better.
Oh my goodness. I'm not going to mess this up with my redneck isms. What I will do real quick before we close, April Wyatt, pop on up here, my friend. Thank you for all you do and for everyone. You and Eco Sam, Samantha Bergdahl is a brand new Kindness Worldwide ambassador. She came in March, right, Kevin?
Yeah, just recently. Yeah. So really honored and proud to have her aboard.
So you can't see this screen, but you guys are doing a kindness meditation. And let me preface that.
Yes, we are.
Go ahead. Tell everybody.
Oh, we're so excited for this. And I'm seeing if I can bring up the video right now. Here we go. It all starts with you, a simple act of kindness that can reach further than we realize. We are coming together for a kindness worldwide meditation, a place to pause, come back to yourself, and see what unfolds. Let's create ripples of kindness across the globe. All are welcome. So this is the Kindness Worldwide meditation that was an idea that Eco Sam had over a year ago. And she came to me after getting into the hounds, after meeting Kevin, and she was inspired. And so together we created this amazing event for people across the globe to come together for this free space to experience expanding kindness across the globe. So we're so excited for this and so honored that Kevin approved of this and that we're just shining our hearts and lights. And that's all it takes, right? As everybody was talking about tonight, it all starts with you. How do you want to feel? You know, it's a choice. So I hope people feel called to come and join us. It's May 3rd at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's only an hour, although it's going to be very powerful. So thank you for giving space for me to share this tonight, and also to share this space with these amazing people that we have here. I mean, look at this panel.
I know. I'm trying to figure out how to get autograph over Zoom. So anybody wants to figure that one out. I'm still trying to figure out how to do coffee over Zoom, literally. But thank you. Thank you for this. And by the way, just for anybody out there who thinks like I used to, this is not woo-woo. All high-level professionals seek out performance coach, things like this. And this is what we're talking about. If you're a high-level person and you're doing things, you're working, you got a family, job, careers, this one's for you. This is not woo-woo. This is biological stuff. Look, I'm a redneck going, let's go meditate. That's enough said. So let's go do it. Let's recharge so we can get out there and build better, build stronger, build together. Thank you all. It has been an absolute pleasure to have you all on this show for who you are as well as what you do. Revenge of the Nerds. I'm going to watch it tonight, Peter. I'm going to send you a picture of it, man. Oh, I love it. And love what you're all about. Angelique, again, thank you, my friend. You are an amazing guide. Everybody buy that book. We are going to throw that out like everywhere Saturday. Kevin Smith, you're the real deal. April Wyatt, you have been a close friend and guide to me. All the hounds that showed up tonight and late, love you all. And hey, let's get after it. The world needs positivity, it needs impact, and it needs legacy. Let's go make it together. Love you all. Let's be good. Hey, check out this little trailer from the movie. Go to kindnessworldwide.org. Donate. You can share. You can be inspired. We got kindness cards. Y'all knock yourself out. kindnessworldwide.org. We'll see you next week, y'all.
To be kind. And kindness will change them. Not because of me. Not because of Brooke Tubbs. Because of all of us and our global community.
Good night. You can go now, Peter.
Thank
Y'all have a
you.
good one. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank y'all for stopping by. Be sure to follow, share, and like, and send me a message if you had fun today. Y'all come back now.